Hey there, I'm Josh Elledge, the Chief Executive Angel of SavingsAngel.com, and welcome to the Savings Angel Show. I'm podcasting to you during this busy Thanksgiving week from Orlando, Florida. Now, I'm an extremely busy consumer expert, money-saving advocate, syndicated newspaper columnist, and that guy that turns digital entrepreneurs into media celebrities at myinfluence.com. Now, I love what I do, and I can't wait to get going on today's episode. So in order to help you save more, earn more, and live more abundantly on today's show, I'm going to be covering 6 exciting apps to ensure a stress-free fall. I am going to teach you how you could potentially make a career shift, and we're going to talk about how to get started as a recruiter and how this industry works, how this occupation works, and how you could potentially earn a 6-figure income. And I actually have my friend Brianna Rooney who's going to join us, and she's going to explain whether or not in 2019 you might be interested in making a career shift. And she's going to talk all about how to get started, how it works, and most importantly, she's going to talk about the money. Finally, we're going to talk about some big rewards that you can get at some Southeast grocery stores. So all that and more, so let's get going. Now, fall is here. We have finally had some chilly days in Orlando. Look, I know life is busy and it's likely you're looking for ways to save time. Now, not only do you want to save time, but you want it to be convenient and beneficial. I know you. Now, we have 6 exciting apps to help ensure a stress-free fall. Now, each of them offers ways to save time, ease frustration, and maybe even save some money as you prepare for the holidays. All right. I love these. I love sharing apps, or little hacks and stuff like this. So you're going to love this. Number 1, I want to help you organize your passwords. By organizing your passwords, you can save yourself time and frustration. Moreover, with your busy schedule, you don't have time to fight accounts and reset passwords. A great app for this is LastPass. Now, LastPass is a password managing application with the ability to autofill your account information. All you need to do is remember one password. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's like one ring to rule them all. It's one really tricky password that you're going to create, and it's going to rule them all. Now, not only does LastPass save you time, but as a bonus, it securely protects your account login information. Number 2, save yourself time and money by multitasking your savings. Now, you can earn money doing everyday things you do online through a browser extension thanks to Swagbucks. Now, by using the website while you shop, you don't have to spend time trying to log into a handful of different money-saving websites. Swagbucks offers gift cards and monetary incentives when using their website online to shop, but they also offer rewards when you take surveys, watch entertaining videos, and search the web. Number 3, make online lists for gift giving. Now, you can save time for yourself and others by creating online wish lists. Now, every year, family and friends ask what the kids would like for gifts. Now, often you're too busy and end up telling multiple people the same few gift ideas. Now, you can prevent receiving duplicate gifts by using Amazon to make wish lists. Family and friends can easily look online and see what you would like, and anything someone has bought, you can remove very easily from the list. Number 4, share your schedule. You have sports, trips, family gatherings, and shopping to do. The only thing more hectic than attending all these events is scheduling them. Now, each family member has their schedule, and trying to keep track of them can be very time-consuming and frustrating. Using a schedule sharing app like Cozy, that's C-O-Z-I, can save you time and keep you from missing important events. Now, Cozy allows you to send automated reminders, color code a schedule for each family member, and see an overview of all the schedules at once. Now, the app is especially useful because it allows you to invite family members so they can add events to their schedules as well. So if you're already using like Google Calendars or Apple Calendars, or whatever you're doing, and you feel like you're totally hacking that system, like you get it, well, good for you. Cozy's a little simpler is what we found. Number 5, make co-parenting easier. Now, schedules can be confusing and even fights can ensue when you're co-parenting. you're trying to keep up with your schedule as well as your child's while working around the other parent's schedule as well. We Parent, which is launching very soon, makes co-parenting easier. We Parent is a co-parenting app that gives you the ability to share custody schedules, events and appointments, document sharing, expense tracking, and messaging all in one place. Now, this app can save you time and the hassle of trying to keep all this information together. Check out their website to sign up for their beta. Again, that's We Parent, W-E Parent. Just do a Google search for that and you can find those guys. And finally, tracking expenses and staying in the budget can be time consuming as it is, but throw in holiday spending and it can be darn near impossible, but not with Proactive Budget. Listen, I'm going to be talking about this app a lot. I'm an evangelist, and I actually am going to have an interview with these guys in the next couple of weeks. Proactive Budget has digitized the tried and true method of the envelope system, which is the only system that I think is foolproof for pretty much everyone. It allows you to set up spending categories, designate money for each, and use a specially designed debit card to keep your budget on track. Now, the average Proactive Budget user saves $400 a month over what they used to spend. That's crazy. By leveraging technology, Proactive Budget can prevent you from overspending in a category while allowing you to make changes to your budget on the go. By the way, listen, guys, this is common sense. I'm going to be interviewing these guys and you're going to see the envelope system works. Imagine giving yourself a $400 a month pay raise. That's what this app allows you to do. So available funds update almost instantly in the app when you make changes, so you always know where you stand. You can avoid overspending this holiday season, and that is definitely a stress reliever. Now, each app that I just shared has something unique and valuable to offer its users. So hopefully with the use of these apps and others like them, you are going to be ready for time and money saving and having a stress-free fall and holiday season. That, my friends, is part of living abundantly. All right, Brianna Rooney, you're a good friend of mine, and I know you as probably the most successful person I know in the recruiting space. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to share something that you've had your success. And now looking at this industry, there's a lot of opportunity for other people that might be interested in a career opportunity or even a part-time career opportunity that can be very, very lucrative. So first off, I'm just going to give that intro and say welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here, Josh. Always happy to talk to you. Yeah, the recruiting industry is huge and no one really understands what we do, how we do it, and why we get paid so much. So yeah, it's kind of like a secret.
Can you kind of explain what recruiting is, and then we'll get into how you got into this?
Sure. In the grand scheme of things, a recruiter is someone that's going to talk to a company, which is now their client, and the client is going to say, hey, I need XYZ to build up this product or to sell this correctly or whatever they need. And they're going to give you the specs of what they're looking for roundabout, and you're going to go find those people. You're going to get them interested in your client. You're then going to send their resume, take them through the whole process, hopefully all the way to the end offer stage, and then help negotiate the salary.
Wow. And so for doing that, what is compensation like? Is this something that someone can earn a pretty good part-time or full-time income?
I have had people do this part-time. Actually, I've had someone go to school and do it part-time, and he was successful. He was an employee of mine. He was very successful. However, very quickly, do you find, whoa, I can make this much money part-time. What if I gave it my full-time, And I don't want to say tell anyone to drop out of school because he finished, but it was very tempting, for him. And he ended up actually moving his classes faster so he could come in our office. So no, you can make a ton of money. The way it works is basically, so first of all, I do engineering, which you can do all types of fields, right? But you get 20 to 30% of the person's first year salary. It does not affect the person you're placing. It's the company who pays you. And
Wow.
then depending on your company, you get commission based off of that. But then it's also something you could, do on your own as well. So it's extremely lucrative. It's more like big hits, So you're like really, really high, and then you're like, and then you're really, really high. So it's really interesting. I think it's a really cool, amazing sales job because it has very high extremes. There's no like, this is my day. It's like, boom, I'm high, or I'm higher, whatever it is. But it's really, really, really fast paced.
Amazing. So obviously, because we're talking about money and income, disclaimer, 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 your results are completely based on the work that you put into it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think like anything, the work you put into it is the work you get back. I do have friends that do like maybe credit card sales or realtors. And, everyone says, well, the longer you've been in it, the more your income goes up and just all of those things. So that does happen. But what's so cool about the recruiting industry is you can know almost zero and all of a sudden, bam, it just kind of hits. So you only need one hit in order to really boost your amount that you're making extremely quickly. So I think that's the difference, is how quickly the recruiting field moves. Because you have to think that once someone has it in your head, like think for yourself, someone has in your head, okay, I'm going to switch jobs, or I'm not happy because X, Y, Z, or, and now someone's presents something to you. Well, now you're already in your head and you're going to work and you're becoming more and more miserable because you're already kind of out the door. So think about how quickly that can happen and how quickly you can move through an interviewing process from start to finish. And I mean, for what I do for engineering, it can honestly be within a week, which is insane. So, I mean, can you imagine, let's just say, our average placement, I would say over the course of a year, is about 28,000. So, I mean, can you imagine making 28,000 in your commission off of that in 1 week? I mean, that's how fast.
Well, I wonder if someone were to follow your advice. Obviously, again, it's going to range widely, I'm sure, based on a lot of factors, but potentially, how long could it take? I know you just said a week, but I need some clarity on that. So what work is involved? You're working through an agency. I guess I just want to understand, get some ideas on, what that looks like.
Sure. So first of all, every agency is different. Every agency has different commission structures versus salary. My personal recommendations, because I've lived through it and I've seen both sides, is you don't want that salary. You want to take the most risk because you get the most reward. You hear that all the time in everything you do. So you're going to want a draw, which is basically they're going to pay you for 3 months to get trained, to get ramped up, and then you're going to take as high a commission as you can negotiate, and you're going to work from there without any safety net. Now, a draw means you're not going to drown, right? They're not going to let you drown. But if you're doing well and they see, you are getting results, they're going to continue to pay you until you do get that deal. So for me, I was lucky enough to actually place 3 people my very first month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of started out with a bang. So I was really lucky. And again, luck does have it as far as any sales goes, and any walk of life. I feel like luck is a big portion of it. It's all about positivity and kind of putting it forward. But I would say the majority of people definitely make their first deal within the first 3 months. I would say the majority of people fully understand within 6 months, because you can still make deals without fully grasping because you have help, right? And then I would say after that 1 year, you have really soared. And I would say the majority, as far as, my personal firm, anyone's making from 80 to 100,000 that first year, which is, can you imagine? You have no experience. You could be straight out of high school, college, whatever you want to do, right? Or out of a completely different job. And you can go that fast, and you don't have to work up this ladder because there is no ladder. It's like an elevator, it's like the Willy Wonka, the Charlie Baker glass elevator, so it's cool.
That's amazing. So what is the actual day-to-day work?
So most of our work is done on LinkedIn. I would say about 80 to 85% of that, because that is the most powerful tool that I've ever used. I am starting to kind of touch into some others, but that one is the best. So I would say you're on LinkedIn, for example, and you are A good recruiter is going to go off on tangents, and that's actually something I teach, which is so funny. It's like, how can you teach them on tangents? But you can. Let's just say you're searching for X company. You're searching for Google, right? And you're going to put in the Boolean search, the right criteria, and you're going to start messaging these people and trying to entice them to start working for Google and tell them reasons why. So then in the meantime, people are getting back to you. They're sending you the resume. They want to hop on the phone. They want to, do it via email. So in theory, you're doing the same motions every day, but every day is different because every person is different. And this is taking someone's extremely personal life, which you got to think people are either family first or job first, but it's either one or two. And you are taking them through that process of success, of to hope, of to the dream that they're looking for. Or maybe it's out of necessity because they got laid off, or, you never really know. So it's always different, always a different situation, but technically doing the same thing. You're setting up interviews, you're negotiating salaries. So, yeah.
So I would imagine a lot of work is just identifying potential employees that you could place. Is that it?
Yes, exactly. Basically, you have a little carrot, you're dangling a carrot and you're saying, do you want this carrot? I dipped it in sugar, or, whatever it is, right? That's essentially it. You're just tempting someone at the right time.
So what does that look like? Obviously, you don't want to spam people to death, but what does that outreach look like?
What I like to do is, first of all, you have to be extremely efficient, right? When you say spam, it's like, I do hate that word because most recruiters spam and they gives us a bad name. However, there is something as smart outreach. You are not typing there thinking of something new to say to each person because that's not efficient. Right. You can't possibly do that because, again, you can have this list of people that you want to reach out to, but you just go very quickly to be like, okay, do I see any common denominators here? And you have your message, and then you warp it a little bit. So not everyone's getting the same message is warped, but the meat is still the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When you get someone who responds back and they're like, yeah, I'm interested, then what happens?
Well, then what I like to do is I like to be as easy as possible because I think a lot of recruiters then go, okay, great. I need this from you, your resume. I need to know X, Y, Z, all these things. But what I think a lot of people don't understand is people want to go down the easiest path. They don't want to have to think too much because a lot of people interviewing is very stressful. Looking for a job, can be super stressful. Negotiating a salary, super stressful. So they want to go to the path with the least resistance. So what I like to do, and my team does as well, is I like to go ahead and say, okay, great to hear from you. Here's the two options I was thinking about. Check them out. Let me know what you think. By the way, do you have your resume? So you're kind of asking them questions at different stages without completely bombarding them. Basically, is how it works. You give them something, they give you something.
Yeah.
You give them something, they give you something.
It's like dating.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I call myself the world's best wingman. It's dating. It's honest to God the same thing. Too similar.
Now, some of this, someone listening to our conversation might feel a little overwhelmed. I don't know how to use LinkedIn. It's one of those ones I have a profile, but I haven't touched it. It's not impossible to learn this, right?
It's so user-friendly. It's crazy. And what a lot of people don't see is that LinkedIn has a special recruiter version that is even more easy to use. I mean, seriously, they've nailed it. No, it's super simple. And come on, let's be honest. Everyone's on social media.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you're going to use your Facebook and Instagram and not be able to use LinkedIn. There's no.
We do a lot of LinkedIn for business creation for our own agency at Up My Influence. That's where we get 80% of our business is through LinkedIn. So we've figured out how to do it. Brianna, I agree with you. It's not that difficult. You can learn this. And a great training program will give you step by step on how all of this works. So you've created a certification program that can help people, get a great foundation in all of the processes. And then once you learn all the basics, then I'd say the next step in terms of career would be then to approach an agency. And why do you want to work with an agency?
Well, I feel like you want to work with an agency because then you can get money from all different angles and you can also get help. I think especially if you don't exactly know what you're doing, because this is just like any job, it is trial and error. It is someone, mentoring you and teaching you a few things, understanding, because, you can have this whole, I know how to do this. This is how it's done. But you have to go a little step further. So if you join an agency, not only can you work as a team, which means they already have the clients for you. So I suggest, getting candidates first, learning that aspect of the business, because every year or so, the market changes. Sometimes it's in the client's favor, sometimes it's in the candidate's favor. Right now, it's like kind of going back and forth, but I would say it's in the candidate's favor right now. So if you always know the candidate and know what to do with them, then you'll prevail in any type of market, wherever it's pulling you. So yeah, the agency will help you do that. And not to mention, it's very little risk. And so if someone is not used to the risk, not used to the sales, the ups and downs, and just kind of wants to focus on getting the job right, I would definitely suggest going with an agency first, for sure, before doing it on your own. Yeah.
Are you worried that too many recruiters are going to get into this space and ruin it?
First of all, people are getting into the space and ruining it anyways. So I want to say, hey, it doesn't have to be like that. I've done this for 11 years. I've seen the bottom of the barrel recruiters, and I've seen really good recruiters. And I got to tell you, really good recruiters, I can't even count. It's maybe 9 or 10,
Wow.
Yeah, it's very few and far between the ones that are actually trained and know what they're doing. And so the demand is so high for recruiters right now, because what's really interesting to me is that companies don't take the time to be like, what do recruiters do? We don't know, but we know that we need them. And then we know that we need our jobs filled, and we know that we don't have time for it. So we're going to pawn it off on somebody else. So they just think that, well, if this person is applying for a recruiting job, they know what they're doing. Well, that's not true. So they're spending so much money and so much time. I think time is the big trouble, because in the end of the day, that's even more money spent, that it's just silly. I don't understand why we're not trained. It's funny.
So Brianna, talk about the first 3 months when you're partnering with an agency. And you said that a lot of times an agency will work with you during those first 3 months. I mean, I know, again, it's going to range wildly based on the agency, but what would that look like in terms of compensation or expectations?
One of the problems I see with agencies, and that's why I push learn first before you dip in, use your agency as basically someone to lift you up, but not to actually train you. Because most agencies, what they want to do is they just think, you throw enough spaghetti at the wall, something's going to stick, that great old, sales term. In theory, that is true. A lot of people still make a lot of money based on that. But if you did it right the first time, then you're really ahead of the game right there. So yeah, as far as compensation goes, I mean, the agencies can pay $3,000 a month to get you kind of going. And then, commission wise, it will range from, I've seen really low commission. So you have to know that I personally wouldn't join an agency if I was getting paid less than 20% commission. I would.
Is this a great field for, let's say, a mom or maybe someone that has been struggling in another industry and they want to make a lateral shift? Is this an industry that works well for women who are ready to truly pursue something new that might be rewarding for them?
Absolutely. So now I'm a mom of 2, which is great. Two little ones. So now I only work 28 hours a week. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years. I think that is extremely powerful. That's extremely rewarding. And it just makes you more and more efficient. I think for all the moms in particular, they understand where I'm coming from, because time is just so much more important now. I remember before I had kids, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get to that, or, whatever. Just things were different. Now with kids, you have not only more of a purpose, but your time is valuable because it's spent away from the most important thing in your life, which are your kids. I think that is kind of boosted up even more, and you're able to not only the time you spend away is extremely you're making a ton of money for yourself and you feel good about it, But then it's also what's interesting is you don't have to compromise, because a lot of times moms go, well, I want to be a really good mom, so I can't have a great career. Or I want to have a really great career, so I can't be a great mom. That's not true. A lot of people get into their heads. And at least in my industry, I know that that's not true. I can do absolutely both really well. So I think that that's important. And so as far as a woman's standpoint, I'm going to totally generalize this because, why not? I would say women in general, they can multitask really, really, really well. And we can focus and prioritize, therefore, and we are more organized, I think. So in recruiting, those are all very important things that you have to know. Now, it is something you can teach yourself, but if those are just your natural behaviors, then I think you're going to find it a lot more easier than you could imagine.
All right. So here's the exciting thing that I want to get to. And again, I love that you've created this. It's a training program and it's called the Millionaire Recruiter. Can you kind of explain what went into this? And I'll just tell you, I've already started watching some of the videos. This is extremely well done. You went into a professional studio. This is professionally done. And I think it is so exciting that this is available now in the market where I don't really think I haven't seen it anyway. Maybe agencies may have had their own kind of onboarding program. But what I think you've done is that you've really created a program that advocates for the recruiter herself or himself as they are getting started so that they can field offers from multiple agencies, land in the best position possible, and hit the ground running.
Yeah, I think that's super important to hit the ground running because, like I said, most places are going to give you 3 months, basically, and people freak out. Well, I've taken people that know absolutely nothing about the industry and been able to ramp them up. But if I had someone that was already trained without bad habits, oh my God, it gives me the money chills. So what the course is it actually starts from day one. And I was really torn as if I should do that because I didn't know if I wanted to take the recruiters of the world now and make them better, or if I wanted to just kind of grab everyone and say, God, this is such a great industry. Can you imagine? Let me just start you from scratch. So I decided to start from scratch. And it's literally as if you were sitting right in front of me. As you probably watched, I even go off on tangents. I don't really write a script. I write I know what I'm going to talk about, but I kind of go and flow and there's almost no additional takes, and sometimes mess up. What are you going to do?
No, you're very authentic, Brianna. And that's, you and I have been able to work together in the past, and I can absolutely. You're just a very, very good person. You're very giving, and you really care a lot. I know about the people you work with in particular.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and I think that's important to always stay in it because I know I've worked with people in the past who have wanted to be oh no, now you do it. I have X experience, you go do it and I'll sit back and I'll just kind of see what happens. And that's not how I think you should do it. I think that a true leader still is in it with you, therefore going through the same challenges and understands where you're coming from and can then help that way. Because if you're out of it, then how much can you really help? How much can you really relate to people? So I think it's really important. Also, I love what I do, so I couldn't imagine just fully stopping. And that's actually another reason why the course was born too, because I was visiting clients and training and taking away from my day-to-day, taking away from my own office, and it was just, it's great money and it's a great feeling to, train people and do all of that. But I was I gotta automate this. I teach efficiency. So why am I flying to go do all of this stuff when really I can just be right there at the click of a button,
I love it. And thank you so much for making it accessible. My heart is absolutely with that mom who's looking for a career change or an opportunity where she can primarily work from home and that she can have that time freedom and be able to do this. So can you kind of explain just very specifically what this course is and what a student will experience?
Right from the beginning, I go in and describe really what a recruiter is because, just like you asked me, it's kind of hard to grasp what we do. And And wait, why do you get paid so much for it? I go into those details. I actually use Facebook as my general point of reference because I know that almost everybody uses Facebook, the good, the bad, whatever it is, you guys use it or at least know it. So I bring them as an example from basically start to finish, because what's really cool about what I do is you do see companies that are just getting off the ground and then all of a sudden they're super, super successful. So I wanted to take people through that journey as well to understand like the impact and what you're really doing to people's lives here. For example, can you imagine placing one of the first engineers at Facebook and now they are millionaires? So it's like, that's a really cool thing to see. It's real. It's real money. It actually happens. So I take them through that. I then take them through even setting up LinkedIn. I take them through the power of it. I take them through making sure their profile looks really great. I talk to them about real intakes, which is basically when you get on the phone or via email with the candidates and you say, okay, what are you looking for? And you're really getting a grasp of who they are and what they want. Because a lot of times, more often than not, people go into something thinking they want XYZ and they come out with ABC, and you help them get there. So you're listening to people and you're kind of grabbing things in between and understanding, okay, this is what I think I can give them. Because what's cool is that normally the companies and the positions you're trying to fill are not just out there. And there's also a lot of noise on the internet too. So they probably have never heard of them. They don't even know that job's available. Or, who knows, there's so many things. So I talk about that. I have real life intakes. I have real life negotiations on there. I had to get everyone's approval. On the client side, on the company side, I have how you work with them, how you get their intake and what they really want. And, you have to pull information, because if you don't ask a question, you're not going to get an answer, and you can't assume anything. So I go through all of that. I mean, really, I take you through the beginning steps to all the way at the end. And I actually get a little fun with it too, with the whole IPO stuff, with, the equity portion of it. And then all the way at the end as to the ritual I do when I close a deal. I mean, I take you through the entire thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So for my Savings Angel fans, you can go to savingsangel.com/recruiting. And I'd love for you to explore whether or not recruiting might be a great career opportunity for you that will give you the time flexibility. And certainly it sounds like will give you great income potential. And that's really exciting. Now, Brianna, I understand that you've got a couple of women that have worked with you, and we might be able to ask them a couple questions. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So I've got Hannah and I've got Heather right now. So you've had the opportunity to work with Brianna for a while. Is that correct?
Yes. Correct. Yeah. And we're so lucky.
Really? Wow. So how did you guys get connected? Let me guess. Did she recruit you?
So I actually ended up applying through LinkedIn, and she got back to me in probably like 2 hours. And then from there, the whole process went so fast. And I started, I accepted maybe like 2 days after I initially talked with her.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Yeah. And then Hannah, so kind of what was your experience?
Very different from the network tree. In fact, she came from a previous company that I worked with, both her and another partner. And I happened to reach back out and talk, and the rest is history.
When you first started, what kind of work, what industry were you in previously?
For me, so I was in the engineering industry, but I started off hardware recruiting. Coming to techies was a bit of a switch. I think the hardest thing for me was learning all of the lingo that went along with software engineering. It's a big difference between hardware and software. And
Hannah?
I came from a completely different industry. I was a shift supervisor at Starbucks.
Wow.
My entire background was customer service, and I needed a new change.
Oh my goodness. So, well, that's exciting, Hannah, because not everybody may feel like they've got a tech background. And exactly. So I know how that imposter syndrome can kind of creep in, and where they say, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about this industry. Can I still do this? Hannah, that's the question to you.
Exactly. Anyone can do this. You don't need the sales background. You don't need the tech. You just want the ambition to want to learn something new. That was what I wanted. I've been doing the same thing for almost 11 years. And to be honest, that can get a little boring. So every day in recruiting is completely different. and incredibly empowering to know that I can close candidates and work with really smart founders. I never thought I could do that.
Wow. Wow. And Heather, what is your schedule? Hannah and Heather, like, what are your schedules like?
Very flexible. So we're in the office from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we get off at 12 on Fridays, which is very fun. I think Brianna believes that not a lot of work gets done after 12 p.m. on Fridays.
People are pretty much checked out.
As a recruiter, you're always, checking your emails and you're there for your candidates, but it's really great to have the flexibility to be able to go on vacation when you want or, leave early if you need to.
So here's the Millionaire Recruiter $1 million question. How have you experienced compensation? And please be just very honest and frank, just in terms of like, well, whatever it is.
So in the beginning, I wasn't seeing as much as I wanted to. But then, in the past couple of years, it's just exploded. And I'm just overwhelmed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm so happy with the return that I've been seeing.
And what do you think the difference was?
Once you're in the industry for a while, you actually get to know, when you can see before things drop off and you can anticipate that they're going to drop off. So you know what to change beforehand to make sure that you don't experience that drop off.
I would imagine that Brianna goes into this in Millionaire Recruiter, and obviously she's trained you a lot on this sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where I think it's really, really helpful to be able to have access to Brianna's course that she created, because I think that like if you were a realtor and you went into real estate and you didn't have the proper mindset to keep irons in the fire and keep a steady, flow coming in, it could end up being real feast or famine.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
It's more famine than feast.
Yeah. You really have to have that proper mindset. And Brianna helps so much with, keeping positivity and energy up. And, she notices if someone isn't doing well, she makes sure to address it and, tell them what they're doing wrong and try to help them get back on their feet. So she's just a really great person to have around at all times.
So Hannah, what was your experience in terms of, and I really am very interested, not being in the tech space, how were you able to adapt?
It was absolutely mind blowing. I came from a company where, I got a paycheck every week and it was a 9-to-5 job. And so you get used to that mentality of I'm making a certain amount each month. So I would say my very first paycheck, my mouth dropped. It was pretty much triple what I was making. So just even that small amount inspired me to, okay, this is just from the beginning of my training salary. What's going to happen? And watching, senior recruiters close 2 or 3 deals a month and seeing their averages. Okay, if I get to that level, I'm going to make 6 times that amount. And that's just opened up an incredible amount of doors for me over the last, I would say, 3 years.
Wow. What would your biggest recommendations be for someone who's considering looking at making a career shift into recruiting?
I would say, and I've actually talked to people as well as Uber drivers. I've pitched this, the Millionaire Recruiter. It's really funny. I would say, look up the Millionaire Recruiter. You just would never take the free e-course and see it for yourself. I think we're going into a whole new world where it's not always a college degree and people doubt. When I was applying for jobs to get out of Starbucks, I didn't even think about recruiting. Had I known this was available, I probably would have started this. I'm 33. I would have started this probably 22.
Wow.
Pick myself that I hadn't seen this earlier.
What's your, Heather, would you say your big advice is to those who are considering learning about this field or potentially starting a career in recruiting?
I think that everyone, if you're even thinking about it, just give it a shot. You'll know if it's for you within the first 2 weeks. If it's not for you, you'll definitely know it. And if it is, you will love it and reap the benefits. I mean, you get to help people all the time. I mean, you're helping people find their dream job and you get to, make a lot of money while doing it. So it's really the best of both worlds.
What's something that you've been able to do because of your new level of compensation that maybe you weren't able to do previously?
I've been able to travel a lot and not worry about money on a daily basis. If I want something, I can get it for myself. And it's really great.
I'm guessing, Hannah, that baristas probably don't make as much as recruiters. So this was probably a lifestyle shift for you.
Being able to, I get involved in some charity work, help my family out, have that extra cushion. And exactly what Heather was saying, traveling has been probably the most amazing about anything.
So you work 8 to 4, 4 days a week, plus another 4.
32.
So 32 plus another. So 36 hours, if I'm doing my math correctly. Yeah, I think so.
We're not accountants.
Yeah, and you don't have to be amazing at math to be a recruiter either, I hope. What about for, let's say it's a mom who's pretty busy. Do you think it's realistic that they could do this maybe a little bit more part-time?
Absolutely. I actually have a sister in recruiting, and she has a 2-year-old daughter and is about to have her first son. And she's a recruiter and she loves it because the schedule is so flexible. She's able to, watch her kids when she can and then also work while she can. So it works out really well for her.
And you guys come into an office, but not every recruiter needs to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary for all recruiters. I know we do it here because we really thrive on a team environment and we all kind of learn and feed off of each other. But as a recruiter, no, you could definitely just do it from home with your computer.
Well, that's really, really exciting. So I guess my final question is, so Brianna's put together this course called the Millionaire Recruiter. And again, you can go to savingsangel.com/recruiting, and you can go through and learn all about it. And certainly you can learn from Brianna. But how has Brianna been helpful for you? And do you think it has made a big difference in terms of your career success in being able to have access to what she teaches?
Yes, it's definitely been helpful. Brianna's helped me specifically. I came from a different agency that was a little bit bigger and really focused on constantly getting out messages and calling people at all hours of the day. And I didn't really like doing that. And then coming to Techies now, it's all about working smarter and not harder. And Brianna's always been there to coach you and let you know if you're doing something wrong or, praise you if you're doing something right. And she's just always been there to help.
And Hannah, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the individual attention. Being a founder herself, she's got a busy day, but she always makes a moment to make sure that we have the one-on-one coaching that we need. I came from a different agency as well, and so I really learned to live and die by candidates, as she says. So I'm learning the candidate experience. I was taught to identify myself as either a company or a candidate engineer, or recruiter. And I'm learning to be more of a candidate-focused recruiter. It's important to know both sides, but coming in here, I'm learning more of that side of it and really just improving my templates and being someone that people can engage with a little more easier.
Well, Heather and Hannah, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. And, the most important thing I think you shared is that, if I can do it, you can do it. It's
exactly.
Anyone can do it. You have to be
Absolutely.
positive and work hard.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Okay. So like Josh and I discussed today, taking whatever background you were, whether you were real estate, insurance sales, whether, you're a barista, like when, one of my other employees, whatever background you come from, this can be something you are great at. And I believe that the millionairerecruiter.com, that e-course can really take you from what I like to say 0 to hero in 2.5 seconds. At the end of the day, this is sales. This can take all walks of life. I think that you just have to have that main focus. You want to better your own life. And at the same time, you can help others achieve success as well. So in order to do that, you do have to be trained well and you have to have the fundamentals. And I think that that's what we are giving you, regardless of what industry you choose to recruit for. I am software engineering, Bay Area, because that is the one that moves the fastest, that pays the most, and has the most venture capitalist funding going to it. I mean, we are the world of technology. That's just not stopping. But again, there's so many fields. There's a medical field, lawyers. I've had someone recently reach out to me that wanted to do the lawyer industry, because he was a lawyer, which is crazy, and he wants to be a recruiter. I'm like, whoa, aren't you being paid enough being a lawyer? And he goes, not really. And then also it's just not satisfying me. And I have really long hours. everyone's complaining that in order to make a lot of money, you need to put in the time, and that just is not true, at least not in recruiting. So I think this is a powerful industry. It shouldn't be kept a secret. It should be right out there, right in front. All these wealth conferences are like with the realtor industry, real estate industry. And I don't understand, because you need money, you need contacts, you need time, you need a certification, you have to take a test, all those things. That's just not true in recruiting. You can really, really be successful that very first year and even sooner than that. So check out themillionairerecruiter.com. Definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, Brianna Rooney, and I will help you as much as I can, because I think that that's really, really important. That's what I've reached in my personal career, that I want to see everyone being successful in the industry that I just stumbled into. I didn't go looking for it. It found me, and I'm super lucky that it did.
Awesome. Thank you, Brianna. So go to savingsangel.com/recruiting, and we'll have all the information there for you so that you can learn more from Brianna and get started on a potential wonderful career in helping doing a lot of good service for people that are looking to move up in their careers. So Brianna, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. It's always a pleasure.
Now, Winn-Dixie and Harveys Supermarket are making an already great deal even greater. Now, last week, we told you about a promotion where you'd be rewarded for buying gift cards. Now, in honor of Black Friday, the rewards have gotten even better. You ready for this? On Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday, gift card purchases will be rewarded with 16 times the points, and Shell gift cards, this is bonkers, is going to rack up 30 times the points. If you're in the Southeast, get to a Southeast grocery store. Do not miss this. Now, if you're wondering, by the way, I wonder which gift cards are most popular. You ready for the top 10 list? By the way, let me just ask you, and let's have a little fun here. What do you think the most popular gift cards sold during the holiday season are? Think about all the gift cards that you might see hanging in a rack at a grocery store. All right, you ready? You got your pick? What do you think is number one? What do you think number two is? Number 10, Starbucks. Number 10, I would have thought that one would have been a little higher. That's a great stocking stuffer card. Number 9, Outback Steakhouse. No kidding. Number 8, Kohl's. No surprise there. 7, Cracker Barrel. 6, Apple iTunes. Number 5, Disney. My gosh, no kidding. Number 4, Best Buy. Number 3 is a combination for home improvement between Lowe's and Home Depot. Number 2, fuel cards, which I get because, again, if you're working a system, this is free money. If you are just, by the way, let me just take a little sidebar here before I get to number 1. If you are not taking advantage of loyalty cards, discount opportunities, buying discounted gift cards, the stuff that I'm talking about right now, and you're just paying the rack rate for fuel, my friends, my Savings Angel friends, you are leaving money on the table. Look, this is not that hard. I'm going to hook you up, and it's deals like this, okay? Again, get your gift cards, get your 30x the points for your Shell gift cards. I know I'm marching my little hinder down to Winn-Dixie and stocking up on some Shell savings. That is really, really amazing. Number 1, by the way, this should come as no surprise, it's Amazon. Now, if you can't get to the store before the promotion ends on Black Friday, no worries. You'll still be able to purchase qualifying gift cards that will earn 6 times the points November 24th through the 27th. Now, during this time frame, Shell gift cards will still earn you 12 times the points. Now, whether you give away your gift cards or keep them for yourself, there's nothing wrong with self-gifting. Treat yourself. You are rewarded either way. Thinking about shopping at a major retailer for Christmas gifts? Go ahead and buy yourself a gift card for that store, earn your points, and then use the card to make your purchases. It's a double win. All right. Don't forget. And plus, you get to treat yourself 2018. Don't forget, you must be registered Southeast. Most people know the reference I'm making right there. Don't forget, you must be a registered Southeast Grocers Rewards member to earn points on purchases. Sign up in-store or online at segrewards.com. However, in order to redeem your points, you must finish your registration. You can do this online or by calling customer service at 844-745-0463. The best part of becoming a rewards member is that you can save all year long. This gives you access to special deals and points on qualifying purchases, which can be used for savings in any Southeast Grocer store. Now, you'll also get instant gold status, cha-ching, which will save you 5 cents off every gallon of gas, up to 20 gallons purchased at participating Shell stations. Again, hello, free money. This is one promotion that's too good to pass up. Register for Southeast Rewards today at segrewards.com and load up on gift cards while you can still earn those extra points. Now, hopefully you feel like you got the hookup in this episode. Now, if you felt that you got value, would you leave a 5-star review in Apple Podcast? By doing so, you help us get this podcast out to more people. Google Play, Spotify, where else are we? We're everywhere, man. Everywhere you could possibly listen to podcasts, you can find us. We're in Roku and, of course, at savingsangel.com. But listen, please share. And please leave a thumbs up, rating, review. The more you do that, just one little thing like that, it matters so much. It's amazing how much power you have over me. All right. So listen, if there's anything that you'd like to hear us talk about, you could drop me a comment in the podcast feedback, write to me on our Facebook group, or call the podcast hotline at 407-205-9250 and leave me a message. I'll answer your question, write you back, or with your permission, I might even share your question or story with others on this show. With that, have a wonderful week full of saving more, earning more, and living more abundantly. And thank you for listening. Plus, you get to treat yourself 2018.